there are folks out there that are open carrying with no retention whatsoever. They're just like hanging out like this.
Yeah,
and some dude just walks up and takes their gun from their hip.
So let's say you are out there LARPing your hearts away out there in the wilderness, but you actually have a way to make sure that this gun doesn't go hurtling out
You're out there
and
hunting
yard
too.
sale.
Like,
Yeah.
you keep on you. You're out there in your whole huge farm property.
Yeah.
You can walk around all day long.
In one fell swoop, you can get that out there.
Welcome back to Class Firearms, guys. Kai over here with Jason.
What's going on, dudes?
And today we're going to talk about which holster should you get. Basically just dive deep in the holsters because it's a very, very important topic when it comes to handguns.
Yeah, and when it comes to holsters, it depends on really what you're doing. You've got ones that are made for concealed carry, whether it be, appendix rig, 4-o'clock, small of the back, even though those are extremely rare. I understand your grandfather in his 1911 do it all the time. Not really my cup of tea, but It is what it is. But you also have ones that are meant for duty rated or on a belt line if you want to do some training outside of the waistband. So we've got those as well.
Yeah, when it comes to holsters, guys, you're gonna see a ton of different holsters out there. There's like hybrids, there's just synthetics, leathers, Kydex, plastic injection mold stuff. Obviously a retention level, which we're gonna go over in this video. There's a lot of content out there, and a lot of holster manufacturers and styles out there, so it's very, very easy to get lost.
Yep.
We're going to try to keep this as simple as possible, but give you the information that you need for whatever application that you're going to use your gun for.
Yep.
So with that being said, I think we should just address retentions.
Levels of retention.
Levels, 100%. Yep. So there are level 1, level 2, level 3. There's pluses in there, 2 plus, 3 plus. I don't know about level 4. I never heard of it.
No, not a level 4.
Level 4 probably there's like a padlock on it. You got to get the padlock out. So something, I don't know. But level 1, what is it?
So level 1 retention, what we know is a common holster. It's just exactly what it is. The holster itself, whatever material that it is, whether it be Kydex, Bolteron, you've got leather as well.
Yeah.
That actually provides the retention that you exactly heard right there. So, 9 times out of 10, I will always advocate for something that has a hard shell to it. Obviously, it's great for impacts, being impact resistant, but not only that, it also protects the firearm even more. Number 2, regardless if you use a light and or not, you actually hear that nice little positive click.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and this is
right there.
Kydex.
And this is Kydex. It's right there. And so it just literally provides a layer of protection between your body and the firearm, and predominantly covering the trigger guard, which could actually help due to not having an ND or an AD. So.
Oh yeah, very, very important. Yeah, as Jason explained, level 1 is basically friction. The friction of your holster is going to keep your gun basically in the holster, right? And there are level 1s, right? There are these screws right here that you can just tighten them to kind of keep it tighter. So trigger guard retention systems or light retention systems.
Right.
In this case, I've got a light holster, but if I didn't have a light, if I just simply had the gun itself, then these screws would help the trigger guard area to get tighter, so you get that positive click, which means it's just sitting there nice and tight. Now, besides obviously protecting the gun and all that, you want a holster you want a holster that's going to stay in. You want a holster that's going to keep your gun inside the holster because you will, God forbid, be in a very dynamic situation, fall into the ground, running, jumping, whatever. It's going to be activity, some physical activity that you're going to get involved. God forbid, if you are in a situation of some sort of self-defense, or even a training scenario, you don't want this gun to be flying off the holster. Now, level 1, this leather holster is also level 1, right? It's got some friction. It's kind of made specifically for this gun. But I've had this for years, right?
We can tell.
Yeah. And it was because of the comfort. And honestly, 13 years ago is 12 years ago when I got this thing. And I didn't know anything about holsters, guns, whatever. I had a couple of guns, and I just wanted to carry this off duty. And I figured I want to be comfortable, and I carried it right back here at 4 or 5 o'clock. And it was comfortable. But this thing, during some training events, this thing, I lost this gun numerous times. It just, if I just shake it, it's just going to come right off. So keep that in mind. But that's in a nutshell level 1. Let's talk about level 2.
Right. So level 2 holsters, right? Obviously, level 1, we said the friction of the unit or the firearm inside of the gun. Now, level 2 meaning some type of locking system. So we have 2 differences here. Obviously, I'm going to roll into level 3, but a common one that used primarily by law enforcement, mill, any type of governmental agency or anything like that, they always are going to use some type of level 2 retention holster, meaning that there is a secondary locking system. In this case, we've got a Safariland 6390 RDO, which means obviously I've got the retention of the holster itself, that's cool, but I also have this locking system right here, or this nub or tab is synonymous known as the nub right here. So what this does is actually, when you actually put the gun in here, you hear it lock into place on top of the actual ejection port. So that creates a secondary lock feature that helps you when it comes to retaining this gun. So I could literally have this, Kai could literally try and yank that thing all day long, it's not gonna come out, right?
And Safariland extensively tests these
Yes,
things.
I mean, they are literally run through the ringer 100%. So like we said, these are great for actively being on duty, whether it be on a police role or military role, but these
Security,
are great.
whatever.
Yeah, security, but these are also actually great also having in a civilian role. So let's say you are out there LARPing your hearts away out there in the wilderness, but you actually have a way to make sure that this gun doesn't go hurtling out
You're out there
and
hunting
yard
too.
sailing.
Like,
Yeah.
you keep it on you. Or you're out there
Absolutely.
in your whole huge farm property.
Yeah.
You can walk around. Oh, all day long.
Absolutely.
Not a fan of open carry though.
Yeah, well, I get that. And
Outside, yeah, not.
to each their own. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. You can open carry if you want to. That's awesome. But again, this being a second level of retention, the holster, and then the ALS, the automatic locking system on here, happening with the Glock 34 MOS, with the X300. I mean, remember, specifically, make sure you get a holster that's made for you and your specific gun.
it's gotta
That's
be for
another
the
thing. This one obviously is a light-bearing one. This one is a light-bearing one as
Yeah.
well. That one's
Non-light-bearing would be-
non-light-bearing.
yeah.
So each one has its own little quagmires or snafus that you need to get through, but make sure you get one that's to you. And again, hearing that positive click in there, thing's not coming out. So
Yeah.
there you go.
That's it. And this is John's
Yeah.
holster. In fact, that's John's gun and John's holster. We
Yeah.
kinda like,
Yeah, we flipped it out.
yeah. All right, so this is your level 2. He explained everything. Nothing else needs to be said. Let's move on to level 3.
All right, level 3. Now, I'm sitting in one of the most famous Glock holsters, the 6354 DO. This thing's just, if you know, you know. That's just what it is. And again, level 3, we've got kind of the same things going on here. Obviously, you see the similarities, the 2 hoods here, but this one has the SLS, which is the locking system that actually keeps the gun completely from falling out, even if you should get in there and try to depress the ALS system. So you've got that hood in there that's like the 3rd legendary locking system of this thing. So obviously, you get that draw stroke down, you practice this thing, you're gonna use your thumb to first depress the SLS hood, which is also gonna get the optic shroud out of the way, and then in the same draw stroke, you're going to pull out and retrieve your firearm from there. Again, still utilizing that ALS locking system, SLS locking system, so whenever you do it, let's say you've got that draw, you've got to stick it up, in one fell swoop, you can get that out there. So of course, dry firing with this thing is gonna be the cat's meow. You really got to get that draw stroke down so you can actually retrieve your firearm in one stroke versus like, oh, let me do this and then pull back and then launch on that. Again, dry fire guys, it'll get you straightened out. So
Yeah. Now, I'm a huge fan of this, and this video is not in any way sponsored by Safariland. I wish it was, but it's not. I have used this very holster for years at various capacities. I've been in a lot of situations with this where my gun was trying to be taken away from my body, like my holster, and this thing protected me. In fact, I did an interview 3 SHOT Shows ago. It's Safariland. I forgot the gentleman's name. I apologize if he's watching this, but he's the one that actually invented this, and I thanked him for saving my life, because it did. This holster saved my life numerous times, and I'm sure there's a lot of police officers out there that this thing saved their life. It actually happened. So this retention system right here, this was pressed during one of my incidents, and the gun was out, and it was just so far bent, whatever, and this thing was just like defeated just slightly, and it was all like mangled and locked in here, and the gun just didn't come out. I couldn't even, the guy was just, we were a lot going on, right? And he wanted that gun, and he couldn't get it because of this holster. If he got the gun, I don't think I was here. But incredible, I love this thing. And the ergonomics, I'm gonna show this to that camera right there as Jason showed it. It may scare you, oh, I have to press down, and I have to push this, then I have to press this.
but you don't.
I promise you, we even like when I was at the state police, I had a guy, a friend of mine, because state police gave you a thumb snap leather holster. Horrible, right? And I was like, guys, don't use this, get this. And one of my buddies named David, he's like, nah, dude, I don't want to deal with all that stuff. This is super easy. I said, I can draw my gun as fast as you can draw your pretty much leather holster, right? No retention, just level 1. He's like, no way. They even timed it. Other troopers were all just messing around at the tollway, right? And I was able to draw my gun every single time as fast as he did. In fact, sometimes I even beat him. But he never beat me because I'm trained on this. It is a one swoop motion. You just go down, and this just as your hand comes down, this goes forward, like naturally, like that. And then as you're drawing,
Yep.
that's it. It's just one. It's just extremely simple and incredibly effective holster. Now this is your level 3. There is, you see this part right here? I mean, not this part. Sorry. There is a little
Shroud. It's a shroud.
little shroud
It's a
right
block
here.
Shroud.
You can actually attach that right there, so it's like a shield, right?
Yeah, it's a-
Nobody can basically get your gun from the front. If the bad guy's right there, he looks at your gun, he puts his hand, it's kind of blocked like that. So there's that too if you wanted it, if you're a security, because I see a lot of folks at like banks, grocery stores, all that. There's a lot of security guards out there that use holsters like this, but that kind of goes a long way. So that kind of adds that plus.
Right.
Like 3+.
Right.
Whatever.
And there you go. A lot of people are going to ask you, which one is right for me, right? You've got the regular retention ones, and this one is made for inside the waistband. There are level 1s for like normally you see competition. Outside the waistband. Competition shooters use those all the time, where their just main focus is retrieving that firearm and just presenting that gun on target.
In fact, if I was like a lefty, right?
Right.
So this would be basically, it would just be something like this,
Right.
guys. This would be your level 1 outside the waistband holster. You just basically draw it just like that.
Yep.
That's it. So that's what you're talking about,
Right. And those work well, but again, like we said, you do any type of physical activity,
They'll come off.
if that thing's not tightened down all the way, that thing's yard sailing all over the place, and that's a live gun out. So it is what it is.
I have seen, not personally, but I've seen, like on YouTube videos or whatever, like checking on Twitter, there are folks out there that are open carrying with no retention whatsoever. They're just like hanging out like this.
Yeah,
and
that's-
some dude just walks up and takes their gun from their hip. This happens. I mean, check them out on YouTube. If you're going to open carry, like even inside the waistband, but inside the waistband, at least you got your clothing protecting all that. Get at least a level 1 with a trigger guard or light bearing, like a retention system. Stay away from this. I don't want it. I don't like it. But if you are going to open carry, for whatever reason, have at least,
A minimum level 2.
at the very least, level 2. Just something like that. That's going to lock this gun in here. So you can run and do a bunch of stuff. That gun is going to stay in your holster. That's what I say. It really is going to come down to your preference. And also, there are inside the waistband hybrids out there. So there's some companies got a bunch of different holes here. You can actually swap it from inside the waistband to outside, so you can do all that stuff. Just, it's going to come down to your preference and what you're using your gun for. Kydex, or even like plastic injection mold, something that's going to give you that retention at the very minimum. That's what I say.
So there you go. That kind of gives you a broad statement of a guide of where you want to go with your training and where you want to go with your firearm. Obviously, if you're doing more physical stuff, I would always suggest level 2 at a minimum. Move up to level 3, and we promise you, it looks more intimidating than it is. If you dry fire, I promise you will get this in one draw stroke every single time. So
Yep. Trigger guard. It's very important
Yes.
that you get something. Like, to me, it's very important, right? You want to make sure that trigger guard area is pretty well guarded.
protected. Yes.
Right? Just protect it so you can't really, not only a finger can, right, but also some foreign objects, some keys and whatever, can't get any access to it. So that's very important, in my opinion. Like these Safarilands do real well, right? In fact, they actually have a plastic rubber flops right now that just go around it to even protect further. So there is that, guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. What holster do you use? Inside the waistband or outside the waistband or both? And why did you select that? Let me know your thoughts.
Alien Gear, Safariland, Black Hawk. I mean, there's Blade Tech is coming out with their new holster that looks pretty dope.
Yeah, Bravo, that Bravo holster.
Yep, Bravo Concealment.
Bravo Concealment, exactly. I've actually used their stuff when I was the federal government. Liked it. Super slim, good stuff. So, anyways, guys, in a nutshell, this was a quick educational video for you. Don't get lost on the internet with a bunch of different things. Now you have the answers. Go pick a reputable one. Go with that and train. So, and also